here, Shalom to you, Akim, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. And we come another week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and Yahweh being the name of who you ignorantly call God, meaning He is, He exists, and Yahushai being who the world ignorantly calls the Messiah, meaning He is the deliverer, man. And Yahweh Bashim Yahushai are coming to save a remnant, 144,000, 12,000 out of each of the 12 tribes of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and a great multitude, which is the 1/3. That's for the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, and you'll be destroyed. Thus saith the scriptures, man. You know, so we just come another week out to prophesy, and because it's a lot going on in the spirit, and if you're not prepared for it spiritually, as the scripture says in the book of Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is his treasure, man. And ultimately that word stability goes into the word faith. I'm a one, man. So if you're not built up for the times that we're coming into, then ultimately Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to destroy you, right? So you want to make
No.
So you want to make sure that you're being spiritually prepped, for what we're about to enter. Because at any moment, we already see that the northern kingdom is going through hell, man. The being captured, you know, much like the southern kingdom in the time of slavery, being boarded up on ships, being taken to alligator Alcatraz. And we understand that Trump is going to come up with more of these detainment camps, man. He spoke Shawshank, Shawshank, you know, and he spoke about bears. He also spoke about the events of Jake trying to flee from these places being televised, ultimately their deaths. So we understand the scripture says the devil shall come down having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. So you want to get all that you can get within the spirit in order to be able to stand in that evil day, man. You know?
So I just want, if somebody can grab that, he mentioned in Isaiah 33:6. I got to follow up. Because at the end of the day, all these perils is the word we're going to use, which are dangers and events, Jacob's trouble. All these things are coming no matter what you do. You can run from it, you can hide, you can ignore it. It doesn't matter. It's going to still come. You're going to be affected by it. Okay. The only way that you're going to escape it is if you're of the elect, which if you're of the elect, you have to prove you're of the elect by your works. You got it out.
Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai is his treasure.
Exactly. Well, you kind of broke it, but it's just saying, read again, I'm sorry.
It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
Yeah, you're going to need to be stable in an unstable time.
Okay.
This is the rock that'll keep us stable in an unstable times, okay? Because you don't know, ICE can come around to snatch you up in general. They can just grab you. They can say whatever they want. I was reading a little bit more about it, and they were saying that it doesn't even matter. Like right now they're racially profiling, but they're racially profiling the children of Israel, the real children of Israel, the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, and it's by ethnicity is what it actually said too. Okay, so you're the same people that need the protection, that don't have any other protection anywhere else on the planet by anybody else. No one else is checking for you. No one else is coming to rescue you. Only the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son will be able to provide that for you. But you have to believe and have faith in that. What you say?
Right. And to just land back off your point, you're not going to be able to save yourself either.
Yep.
It said it shall be stability of thy times and strength of salvation.
Yep.
So you're not going to, you ain't going to use your own might, your own resources to save yourself. It don't matter how much money you got, how much gold and silver, how many arms you got. None of that is going to save you. You ain't going to be able to save enough food for the tribulation that's coming. You ain't going to be able to outsmart, the Heavenly Father pretty much.
Basically, you got to be predestinated for salvation. Before the earth was created, Yahweh gave Yahushai his elect, that he would come back and save. So, and rule with Yahushai as kings and priests, So you basically, your spirit has to be basically predestinated to basically go through these rough times that we're about to head into and be saved.
You got it.
Real quick, 2nd Ezra 9.
Yep, that's what I got. You got it.
And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith and stability, whereby you have believed.
Imagine that. The only way that you're going to be stable is by faith. Somebody hit that real quick. Somebody get that in Hebrews 11. 11:1
I
right
got
quick.
one more verse.
Yeah, you got it.
It
So I
says,
just want to establish on that faith.
It says, shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation in my land
Yep.
and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
And backed up everything everybody was
You
saying.
just said about predestination.
And I want to tie that back into. It's funny that from the beginning it was established that these elect were given to Yahushua. Then it's those same people, those same men, if you will, same spirits that'll be back to establish the beginning of righteousness in eternity. You got it, bro. And I think you got it. Hebrews 11:1.
Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Whoa! So you asking me to be stable on something that's not tangible, something that I can't even really see? Well, yeah, that's the special part of it. That's the hard part. We thought this was gonna be easy.
Right.
Jake will be selling hope and selling faith on the corner, man, outside the temple or something. Okay, so this is important that it's established this way, but you have to know how to completely buy into this. All right, with your whole spirit. What do you got to lose? Death.
Right.
That's the punishment anyway. You got it though.
And that's the perfect tool to use for sifting as well.
Yep.
Because even when Yahushua walked the earth, he performed all those miracles. Even he said, you know, if you believe not things that upon earth, how then shall you believe of things, in heaven? Roughly paraphrasing.
Exactly. That he has these wonderful things set up.
Just as an analogy, people are accustomed in this day and age to buying everything online, right?
Yep.
The fact that you make a purchase online,
Yeah.
basically you're allowing for a site or a company to have access to your bank account,
Yep.
to take money, withdraw money from your account
Yep.
because you believe
Yep.
something is going to return to you.
You have faith in it.
That's called faith.
You believe the
you
size
believe
is
you're
gonna
gonna
fit
get-
right.
Back on what you spent.
All
Now,
that.
what are we spending in this? The earnest of the spirit.
Yep.
We got the spirit, man. And we have the faith, and that's what coincides together.
We also
Right.
give our time and our physical
Present our
abilities.
bodies as living sacrifices. Because we believe that we're going to get a return on this investment.
Right.
And what's coming to us? Everlasting life. Salvation.
Okay.
Back on you.
Back in Hebrews 11 and verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him.
Right. Without faith, it is impossible to please Yahweh Bashim Shai, man. Hey, because ultimately the elect, the hopeful elect, 'cause that's the position, the state that we're in, wanting to be of the elect. Hey, but we have faith within him, man. Hey, while the rest of the world has faith within this system. Like you brought up the example of, putting your bank account information into a specific site to receive a investment or to receive that product. Hey, well, ultimately, that's what we're doing in the heavens, man. We're storing up their spiritual riches, hey, so that we can cash out in the time of our trouble, man. Because before the saving happens, hey, hence miracles, hey, and those are acts of saving as well. But if you're not putting your money or investing within that stock, so to speak, hey, then guess what? When the economy crash, hey, you're not gonna have anything. You won't have any account number. You got something?
Yeah, it go with what he's doing.
It says, for he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
Go on,
It's the
hey.
same reward
Yep.
when you put your money out there that it's gonna give that return.
Absolutely.
Hey, bro, it takes extreme faith. It's 110 degrees right now.
Thank you.
It takes extreme faith to be standing out here, man, and prophesying to you people, knowing that, you niggas ain't gonna get it. Yeah. This is the foolishness of preaching, man. Or you're in the Midwest, in the wintertime and shit.
Yep.
18 degrees.
Yep.
Prophesying to you niggas ain't gonna get it.
Yep.
This takes faith, man. Who else out here doing it, man?
Shit, beggars ain't even out right now.
Yeah.
Motherfucking birds hiding in the trees trying to get some shade, hot.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The birds will come down and get edified before you niggas.
I got
From a
some.
lizard or some shit.
We're talking about price. The brother brought up price, right? This Isaiah 55:1 says, "Ho, everyone that thirsted, come and what are you thirsting? You got it."
Hey, because it goes back ultimately to Ezekiel 37, right? Thirsting means what? You're lacking. You're lacking water, man. And ultimately, the water is what? The word. that breath is the word, right?
That's it.
So it says, "Ho, everyone that thirsted." So it's basically calling out to those that need nourishment,
They
man.
know they're dehydrated. Bro.
Exactly.
They're dry bones, spiritually dry bones.
Kind.
That's
Right.
right. It says, "Come ye to the waters." This is where the water, the belly shall flow belly of the living water. This is where it's at.
Kind. I was thinking as well. Hey, these are our channels, you know.
Yeah.
And channels are what? Channels are basically avenues in which water is supposed to flow through.
Or information.
Yeah, or
can
information.
flow.
Going back to the
A
unicorn.
channel through, yep.
Kind. Going back to the unicorn.
Electricity flows through a channel.
That's right.
All these things.
Yep.
That's the spirit moves
Exactly.
on.
Streams.
Yep.
It's all that water is. It's whatever's
Analogies
needed.
ain't there on that. So like you know.
No, it's huge.
Those analogies aren't there on accident. You know, you got it. Brother.
Kind.
It says, and he, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that have no money, come ye, buy and eat.
Right, and how does that happen? It says, "Everyone that hath no money, come ye buy and eat." In today's society, if you plan on getting a meal, you're gonna need some money in order for that exchange to occur. Well, the scripture is saying, "Those that have no money, come ye buy and eat," man. So how are you buying it? With your time, with your dedication, with your effort,
Sacrifice.
your sacrifices, right? You're coming into what? Into the rivers of living water, the midst of the channels, hearing the words of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, you're locked in, you're paying attention, you're taking notes, to get fed through the spirit, right? Because this is what it's speaking of. It's speaking of the spiritual meal that's being placed on the table, man. Would then graft the word which is able to save your souls, as the scripture tells us. So,
It says, yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price.
right, wine and milk are symbolized as of the word, man. The different levels of the doctrine. Milk is what babies start off with. The building blocks, the basics,
Fundamentals,
the
yeah.
fundamentals, and wine is more of the aged. But it's still part of the doctrine. Just like bread and honey, the same. The water. These are all symbolizing the words or the levels of layers of the scriptures, man.
It says, wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread?
Yeah, here it is. You're going into these churches, these harlot houses, and you're giving forth your tithes, your offerings unto a pastor that's not teaching you nothing. You're not being fulfilled or sufficed with actual words of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai that are going to help you endure those times. You're getting preach words of prosperity. You're getting preached unto, they're playing music, appeasing your mind, your ears, tapping into your emotions to get you into that weaker state so you can offer more unto him, but you're not really being fed through the spirit, man.
I want to add a little bit to what you're saying,
Okay.
because it's, going to the church is one thing, but people go to concerts and they treat it like a holy thing, to see a performer, to hear their words.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's doing all these things to appease, and it basically appeases their flesh. Okay, whether you have your own belief, you tune in on YouTube watching your favorite sports figure or whatever, all these things happen, but you're not realizing what you should be buying or investing your time and money into is your spiritual salvation. Okay, this is more important than anything. And right now, it don't seem like it has any real dividends with the people of the world, but it's coming.
But that's the good thing about stocks, because when you understand that,
Faith. Faith.
exactly, you have to have faith within that trend line, so to speak.
Yeah.
Whether it's bullish, whether it's bearish, and when you buy in, you have to have faith that it's ultimately going to reap the benefit that you bought in for, right? If you're, it's like, wait,
Sorry, go ahead.
if you're betting on a bearish market, well, when it goes up or down, you're hoping that you get a return on that investment. Same if it's bullish, right? The green side, the green what you call them? Can't think of the name.
You're talking about candle?
Yeah,
Candle?
I'm talking about the candle. The green candles, yeah. And ultimately, when the stock goes up, red is when it goes down, man. So you're buying in order to achieve of your money, man. You're not buying in to lose. That defeats the purpose of even investing. You're about to say
Yeah,
something.
but, yeah, you have to study. You have to know.
Yep.
You have to basically be a scholar. What did that Edomite president say? Theodore Roosevelt. He said a thorough knowledge of the Bible is better than any college education.
Yep.
So what do you got to do when you go to college to get your so-called degree? You got to study your ass off.
Yeah.
Same thing we getting in this truth, man. This Bible, you have to study it, man.
Okay.
So you know what you're talking about.
Yep. Again, in verse 2, it says, wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, is not satisfying? Right? It says, and for your labor for that which satisfieth not. It said it. Hearken diligently.
It's like it, because it says your labor that satisfied not. Hey, Jake, on early Sunday morning, what? The mama is waking up the kids and making sure they hair brushed, making sure they
Hot
teeth
comb
washed.
ready.
Yeah, hot comb ready. making sure you put on Sunday's best, all to go into this building, you know, and hear a bunch of lies. Hey, well, Yahweh Shema Shai is requiring that same effort. And you making sure that you're attentive unto the videos, you got your notepad, you got your highlighter, you got your pen out, you're taking notes when whoever the speaker is talking, you're getting that information in, and you're flipping through it on your actual sword. You know, that's you attending unto the message, man. Just like in the college lectures, and when the professor is talking, you locked in. You know, you paying attention to the speaker, you taking notes off the board. Hey, well, the Lord requires the same type of diligence, the same type of effort.
Right.
Yep.
It says, hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness.
And it's fatness, man, and it's reward. Because with you understanding the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, with you understanding that wisdom, hey, you now have to move different, man. It's a requirement that you apply that wisdom, or else the Lord will take the spirit from you.
It made me think of, I think it's some Wisdom of Solomon. I'm trying to make sure, but anyway, wisdom is what you get built up by. That's what makes you fat. It meets you, it has you ready, it protects you. Yep. It's a defense. Okay, all of these things happen through wisdom. And it said the wisdom that comes from learning. Yeah. That was Wisdom of Solomon. I think the 7th chapter. Yeah. It says that in there. So the wisdom that comes from learning, that you need to get this wisdom. This will help you move in the spirit to be able to deal with all the perils that are coming according to the world.
God, all the worldly knowledge that people are gathering up today is not gonna be of any effect, because ultimately, say somebody's prepping. You know, oh, well, we got all this food stored. Well, you don't know where you'll be once the Lord brings forth this hell. So how do you know you'll be able to get into that surplus of food in that time, man? People say, oh, well, I got a bunch of guns. Well, what is a gun good for in the face of a famine? Yep. What you gonna do? Eat bullets? You know? What good is it in the face of a pestilence? You know?
If you think about it, this word represents all of those things that people do to prep, so called. You know, this represents your food. This represents your security and your weapon. This represents all of those things, man. That's why it's gonna be our stability. Just like the dude we was talking about last night that he had the Bible and alligator Alcatraz and it was taken from him. He said he was losing his faith just because the Bible got took from him. This is something that's in us.
Yeah, there it is.
Esau can't touch this, man.
A little more, last verse. Yeah, I think that's what it says. Incline your ear and come unto me, hear, and your soul shall live. Yep. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Yep. Showing that we don't really deserve mercy, but as David got mercy, that situation will be open unto us if we incline our ear and hear, which only the elect are really going to do.
The tabernacle of days.
Right.
I had a follow-up to yours. Ecclesiasticus 51:23. Draw near unto me, ye unlearned, and dwell in the house of learning.
Beautiful.
Wherefore are ye slow, and what say ye to these things, seeing your souls are very thirsty? I opened my mouth and said, buy her for yourselves without money.
And Jake tried to tell me that the Apocrypha is not part of the Bible. That hit on like every point that the verse I just read. The thirst, the come and learn, the eat, everything was there. You got it, bro.
It said, I opened my mouth and said, buy her for yourselves without money. Put your neck under the yoke. Ooh. And let your soul...
Put your neck under. Don't let somebody take you captive. You got to put your neck under. You got to willingly want this.
Yeah, it takes self-submission.
Yep.
You know? Hey, and also, and I believe it's Ecclesiastes 6. It speaks about putting your neck in her chain or her fetters. Yeah, can you grab that? We can keep going, Zion.
Put your neck under the yoke and let your soul receive instruction. She is hard at hand to find. Behold with your eyes how that I have but a little labor and have gotten unto me much rest. Get learning with a great sum of money and get much gold by her. Let your soul rejoice in his mercy and be not ashamed of his praise. Work your work bedtimes, and in his time he will give you your reward.
Yeah, so in being obedient and being diligent, you know, and to being attentive unto the Lord's field, and you ultimately reap the harvest, man, which is salvation. So our job is to, as the scriptures say, the church of Berea, they searched the scriptures, and that showed that they were in the spirit of what? Of getting all the meat off the bone, man. Because that's what it takes. You can't be a surface level Israelite and expect, you know, a kingdom or a world without end where you're ruling, man. Hey, to be invested, for example, when a land is being created or the plans for a land are being created, you putting that hard work in to, you know, draft the plans, to make sure that the construction team is out there, to make sure you got the CMs, the construction managers, you putting all that time into that project and then being able to reap that project, that's where the benefit lies, man. You know, you can't be an outsider watching from the gates and then be like, oh yeah, this is mine. Hey, you didn't partake in the building of it, man. So how are you expecting to reap the benefits of it? The Lord is requiring that our hands get dirty because the kingdom that we're about to inherit, hey, he's building it up for those workers, you know?
It's that 11th hour, it's that 11th hour parable.
Kind, you gotta have a shovel in your hand, man.
Oh, I got one.
Yep, go ahead.
Sirach 11, I'll start at 20 in the GNT. It says, stand by your duty and stick to it.
Yep.
Grow old at your work. Don't be jealous of what sinners achieve. Just stick to your own work and trust the Lord. It is very easy for the Lord to make a poor person suddenly rich. Devout people will receive the Lord's...
That's what the Lord did to Esau. Esau's a base man.
You back on. It overheated. Yep.
Yeah.
He want me to rotate.
Oh, that precept?
I had that word prudence.
Yeah, please. Yeah, whoever got it.
Prudent. Oh, go ahead.
Prudent, it says wise, discerning, judicious, prudent with knowledge, deliberate, knowing, skilled, sagacious, circumspect. It says rarely in a literal sense, foreseen.
Yep. So you can foresee, when you have wisdom, you can foresee the evil and hide yourself before it gets there. You're not moving in the moment, you're moving 2 paces ahead. You know, you can see paces ahead, so now you can foresee the evil, you can foresee the good, and position yourself accordingly. That's what wisdom gives you when you're adorned with it. Imagine this. We all done been, as men, we all done been, so even as women can attest to this, right? We all done been somewhere and we see something that a person we physically like walk down the way. You like, ooh, I like how his stature is, I like the hat, I like the figure, I like the outfit. Let me put myself in position to be able to meet that person, you know, and that's how the same thing wisdom will do. It'll oh, this is a nigga. Let me position myself away. He got on, you know, whatever, he looked dirty, whatever the case may be, that doesn't attract you, you know, to move out the way. Okay, and that's what wisdom gives you.
I heard that word sagacious. It says keenly perceptive, discerning,
aware, keenly aware. Able to perceive and understand. I bring up the word with my kids anyway, comprehension. You gotta have quick comprehension. That's what this gives you. So when you see something, you gotta understand what you're seeing. Okay, quickly. When you read something, you gotta be able to understand what you're seeing. The faster you do, the faster your mind can go deeper in the understanding of it, and then you can make action.
Darn, it says the sense of skilled at discovering truths,
Beautiful.
especially as regards human natures.
Discernment.
Yep. And
That's what it
intense.
is. Yep.
Intense of the heart, man, as the scripture says.
You can see somebody has a good character by them, not by what they're physically wearing, but by what they're inwardly, you know, how they're moving inwardly. You can read somebody through their eyes. You can read somebody through their gait and their movement. Okay, these things are high level perception and discernments, and this is what wisdom gives you: the ability to see that, ability to see all. You know, I mean, there's all kind of. I see a woman walking around with bleached blonde hair, I'm already like, nope, this ain't from a nigga with his pants sagging all the way down, and you know, drawers showing and whatever, or somebody walking with bent wrists. You know what I'm saying?
Done.
You can kind of see all of those things. You just automatically, from a distance, you can see. You can already perceive it.
I was gonna say too, if you see a woman with a hair wrap, man,
Yeah,
hey, you
bonnet.
gotta go the other way, you know, because
See
she
that
could be a
bonnet.
demon too.
Well, that's the word. What's the word?
No.
Prejudice means. Prejudge.
It's
That's right.
prejudged.
Ain't nothing wrong with being prejudiced.
I got
But for the right reasons.
Yeah, you got,
Yep.
spirit to be prejudiced.
Judge righteous judgment.
Righteous
Right.
judgment.
Sirach 19 and 29. A man may be known by his look, and one that hath understanding by his countenance when thou meetest him.
That's the face to shine. You can see his face shining, not because it has oil on it, but more so because you can look in his eye. People and brothers around that are getting into this, we know. People look at you like, you know something. You everybody else is frantic, but you super calm. Like, why? This is chaos out here. The dude is running up with ice and whatever, all of this, and you just calm? Why? It's something about you that just people can read differently in you. You was gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, Yahushua, he showed extreme levels of king judgment. Like he knew who to turn away from him and not follow him, and he knew exactly the ones that was gonna follow him. But when he came over to was it Nathaniel? He called him by name, and then he said he if somebody could find it for me, I think it's in John the 1st chapter.
Okay, let me say this man face is perfect.
Yeah, he said there's no guile.
Yeah.
How was he able to perceive that of him when he just saw him? He just looked at him and said, "Hey, this is an Israelite in whom there's no guile.
God.
Israelite indeed."
Yeah,
know?
God.
He prejudged him.
God.
Find that for me.
It's St. John chapter 1, start at verse 45. Philip findeth Nathanael and saith unto him, We have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Yahushua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. And Nathanael said unto him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, Come and see. Yahushua saw Nathanael.
Nazareth was like
The hood.
the hood, basically.
Yeah.
Like, anything good coming out of there, man? That'll be like somebody coming out of Compton, coming out of Brooklyn,
South side
Chirac,
Chicago.
you know. Yeah,
You
man.
go to all these hoods, man, where it's effed up.
Yep.
Hey, but the scriptures say the Most High have not chosen the wise men nor the noble, man. He's chosen the things that which are not to confound the things which are.
Right.
It says, Nathanael saith unto him, Whence knowest thou me? Yahweh, he's like, you know me?
Yeah, how you know me?
Right.
Yahushua answered and said unto him, Before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee.
Yeah.
Nathanael answered and saith unto him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of the Most High, thou art the King of Israel. Yahushua answered and said unto him, Because I said unto thee, I saw thee under the fig tree, believest thou? Thou shalt see greater things than these. That's and he saith unto him, so like that wasn't the one, was it?
No, it was a different account. Yeah, Slakia. It was a different account. But it was the same
I think I
event
clicked
though,
on the wrong one.
because he when he saw him, he was like, "Hey, you an Israelite indeed,
Yeah.
in whom is no guile." How did he know that?
I
Keep
skipped
going.
that. I skipped that part. So like, it was same chapter, chapter 1 and verse 47. It says, Yahushua saw Nathanael coming to him and saith unto him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the Lord prejudged him right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sermon was strong, man. It threw him off. Like, damn,
How you know that?
how you know me?
I seen you under the fig tree.
Yeah,
For real?
yeah.
Like, okay. You're like, when you caught me, is it because I saw you under the fig tree? Now you believe me?
Right.
Oh, snap.
Hey, because Yahushua, he was of like it says in Isaiah the 1st chapter, he's of a quick in his spirit, you know, very quick of understanding.
I got more in that. Great. This book, the 19, back in Sirach 19 and 30. A man's attire and excessive laughter and gait show what he is.
Yep. And so you can tell by reading, you can prejudge and tell somebody. They're up there clowning around, don't have a serious or stable countenance. If anything, they just jumpy, and you can just read people, man. Yeah, just always
And
smiling all the damn time and just bouncing around. Can see that they ain't locked in.
God.
in that word,
It's
oh,
like,
go ahead.
nope, it's on you.
The word gait, it means to manner of walking, carriage of the body while walking.
Kind. Hey, like for example, your video of the one Jake when they ganged up around him, the one nigga that was the loudest, I knew he was gonna do something, bro.
Yeah.
Cause it's always the loudest nigga.
Yeah.
You know and he's typically the most cowardice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
He finally heard a fly when he's by himself.
Yep. Yep.
If I might add to the point, you know, just to balance things out, that don't mean go strictly off of how somebody is dressed to you know, to use your judgment. Because the reason we saying this is because a lot of times somebody's attire, it's a reflection of their characteristics.
Right.
You know, if somebody wearing all black, you know, and they just have got this dark demeanor, this dark countenance, most likely they ain't right. If somebody's wearing a bunch of bright ass colors, you can probably assume they ain't straight.
Yep.
You know?
It's about how they carry themselves more than what you
They
gotta think
kinda-
about that. That's why you think the apostle says the things he says about these certain decrees that go out, about the way you carry your hair, the type of clothes you wear, shoes. Like you can't be at camp in sandals, man. That says you ain't prepared. You know, like the things that make you a man. He wants to make sure you have those basics, and you don't need all the extra for the hairline. He enforces these laws because it's the right thing first and foremost, but secondly because he's preparing your mind for the battle and to check your obedience. You was
I
gonna say something?
saw Jake getting his ass whooped by a female because she was pulling him by his fucking dreads.
Yep,
She had him by his dreads and was beating his ass.
it's done.
But if he wasn't a simple nigga
Yep.
and carried himself in an image and likeness of his creator, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't he wouldn't have got his ass whooped like that.
Yeah, the son of David that came up against him, Absalom. He got stuck in a tree. You know, because he had big ass afro and shit. You know, and yeah.
So this hair had weight to it.
Oh yeah, way to it. Yeah. And it was a pretty boy too. So that's another thing about pretty boys and want that hair and shit.
The outward appearance.
You know, yeah.
Caught up in their vanity.
And when you read
Like Alizé.
First Corinthians, what's that? 11. Yeah, Paul tells you.
Shame.
It's a shame for
Yeah, it's a shame
for
for a man to have long hair.
Nature is
Nature yourself teach you that, right? I got something in James chapter 2, verse 2 in the NLT. It says, for example, suppose someone comes into your meeting dressed in fancy clothes. Oh, snap. Oh, there you go. And expensive jewelry. Yeah. It said, and another comes in who is poor and dressed in dirty clothes.
And remember that statement that Nate made?
Oh yeah.
You know who you worship.
You know who you worship by
The garments.
by the
whatever.
garment or by the attire that you wear. He literally said that. And his zombified congregation, they thought that was super prolific.
Yeah.
Like that was something a man of the Lord would say.
Right.
And then turn around and having fashion shows at your Passover.
Yeah. You thought
You know?
that wolf skin was it.
Man,
You talked
That's
into that.
that's a complete opposite spirit, you know, which is of the fruits of the spirit. That's the opposite of that, man. You know, when he told when they came to see John, and they was having a conversation about John the Baptist. He was telling them, what did y'all expect to see?
Yeah. And he was in the wilderness. What did you expect him to be wearing? So he said, I'm not gonna use the word. Well, it said gay clothing, like
expensive
beautiful
clothing.
clothes.
Yeah.
I got one quick preach like Revelation 11:3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. And basically, the 2 witnesses get into the northern and southern kingdom, southern and northern kingdom of Israel, 12 tribes, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. And when you go like deeper in the word sackcloth, you know, it gets into cotton. It says cotton, and also what's
Ain't it?
no.
Burlap.
It's like a sack.
It was burlap in the sack.
Yeah,
Probably burlap.
yeah. Basically
Cheap.
materials that's cheap. You know,
quality,
it
not
may
all good
it may
feeling.
stick you.
Yeah.
Stick your skin and stuff like that.
It ain't like cashmere and all that.
Yeah,
It's,
camel's
silk.
hair.
Yeah.
That's basically sackcloth. It represents mourning. You know.
Cheap, basically really cheap.
Yeah.
You get the definition?
Yeah, you got it. I was about to get it.
I got it. It's from the Greek word sakos, and it says a sack, a receptacle for holding or carrying various things as money, food, etc. A coarse cloth, a dark coarse stuff made especially from the hair of animals,
Yeah.
like John the Baptist
Yep.
and Elijah.
Yep. If y'all can't
Which
tell,
is the same way. Hey,
You know,
your mind can perceive it.
hey, John the Baptist wasn't the familiar spirit of Elijah. He was Elijah.
Yeah.
For you dummies out there.
Bro,
All right.
that's like when Christians be like, oh well, you got spiritual Israelites. No, if your spirit is what the spirit inhabits the flesh.
Yeah.
You know? So if it's a spiritual Israelite, that means it's a physical Israelite, man.
Yep.
You know?
No matter what the flesh is.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to be born. You know, come through the seed line of your father, which is an Israelite.
Yeah. It says a garment of the like material and clinging to the person like a sack, which was to be worn or drawn over the tunic instead of the cloak or mantle by mourners,
Yeah.
penitents, suppliants, and also by those who, like the Hebrew prophets, led an austere life.
What does that word penitence go back to? The brothers asking. What does that word penitence go back to? Brothers know? Yeah, it goes back to repentance, to be penitent.
So when you're in a mournful state, what do you normally do? You're not going to put on your best and then get on the ground and throw ash upon yourself and dirty up your fine linen and silk, and you're not going to wear that when you're in a state of mourning.
Captivity.
You're in captivity. You're in a state of mourning. So you're going to wear sackcloth.
I'm gonna go a little further with it. An example, because I'm not gonna go too far.
We would get called the bum camp.
Yeah.
For wearing them.
Exactly. In the world, you gotta look at it like sackcloth is like Levi's and Dickies. You know, rough clothes that can endure hardships. Because what? The men of the Lord were traveling.
It's almost like work clothes.
Yeah, like work clothes. Exactly right. That's exactly the point. That they can endure a hard day's work over a course of time. You know? And that's what but it was like a mourning state that showed that also. Showed a lowly countenance, and so you can see it at the end.
It's an attitude
Within the
that
person.
comes with the type of clothes you wear.
Exactly.
If you
Exactly
wearing
the point.
nice designer clothes with the thick material, you feel good about yourself. You ain't really thinking about what you're sorry for.
You don't really show up to a wedding with a whole silk outfit and then a tool belt. They don't go together. You know what I mean? So your mind is gonna be something different. It's gotta be on that it should reflect. And that goes not just with men, that women, you whether you know it or not, what you wear and how you carry yourself, your gait and how you dress yourself. If I see them umbrellas hanging off, I'm already knowing what you all about.
I'm gonna prejudge you.
Yeah.
If I see that septum ring in your nose,
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're a whore.
I hate that.
yeah, you one of them shea butter chicks.
Hey,
You
right.
know,
Tarot card.
we know you're kind.
Is it the tarot cards? The shea butter?
I got 1 Corinthians 1 starting at 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. When you think about somebody that's noble, you think about somebody who's at a high level, on a high position, and it's certain attire that comes with that, certain level of respect from the people that comes with that. Just like we always talk about it when we was back over there. That dude that came up, I think he was ex-military, and he was saying, brothers was making a point. He was talking to him, breaking bread with him, and he just stopped like, I just can't take you brothers serious. This is what he said. I just can't take you brothers serious because of what y'all wearing. I look at these other camps and they all matching. They got nice clothes and garments, and they all, they look uniform. But y'all brothers, he looking like he looking at the brother, talking about the brother, because he got holes, we got stains. this ain't all black no more because his son died. And, you know, he didn't take us serious because of what we had on, but he wasn't paying attention to the message, more so of the messenger.
The real adornment that we had on in the spirit. Right.
And that's why somebody like that will never be able to receive this message, man, because they in it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, niggas like that are no different than women that choose their niggas based off of superficial shit.
That's a feminine
It's feminine. You know, women gotta have the over 6 feet, six figures, six pack.
Hey, them gold digger videos, they'll show it, because the dude will show up in sweats, and then he'll be like, you know, a regular little outfit. You walk up and be like, yeah, can I get the number? She's like, nah, I got it, man. Then he go hop in a fucking Porsche or a Corvette or some shit, a Lamborghini, and she be like, well, hold on, I didn't know, is this you? Yeah, this me. You didn't tell me. You're like, hey, why are you looking at that when I presented what you're not getting that? You're getting me, you know? And that's what people fail to realize. But women don't look at what they're getting. See, I'm trying not to go there. I'm not looking at not looking at what they're getting physically. They're looking at what they're getting monetarily. You know, I ain't gonna, just to say it. My mom had this kind of rule. She's like, a man with muscles tells you a lot about that man. Meaning he can accomplish something. If a man got muscles, you know that he can accomplish something without money.
He's at least dedicated to something.
To something. He can put his mind to something and accomplish it. At least. And I was like, damn, that's pretty good. You know, looking back on it when she said it. But that's the same type of thing now. Women don't look at that. They don't look at the degrees a man has on his wall. They're looking at the cars in his garage and how many square feet he got. What's your bank? Let's go shopping right now. Cause what she gonna do? She gonna test.
What you put on her cash app.
Yeah, judge your cash app, then gonna judge. We gonna buy out the mall. Go. What do they say? Spin the bag. What they call it?
Blow the bag.
Whatever they call it. I ain't in position to do no shit like that. But they'll go and literally be like, I want this for $6,000. Like, I just met you a half hour ago. Like, you already want to do that? Women going to go buy up all these dinners, you know, enough to feed 8 people on the first date. Like, this is like the mentality that you got to see. And this is spiritually still. I'm always going to tie it back. This is spiritually how we look at religion and God. Our people do. The Israelites do. The real Negro, Latino, Native Americans that are the real Israelites. That's how we look at it. What can you do for me? What miracles can you perform for me right now? And without me having any accountability or responsibility. That's why when the brother said the faith is the most important, because you got to buy all the way in. You got to be all the way in for faith to work. Yeah. All right? You got
real quick. Romans 11:33. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High. How unsearchable are his judgments and his ways past finding out. And you know, us being, you know, considered the woman of the Most High, he's our husband. He's using his men, and it's not in the way that the average person expects it, right? He's using his men to bid, you know, to the marriage. And Jake, they want to see those grandiose things right off the rip. You know, the miracles. They want to see all of those benefits right now, man.
How come you ain't glowing yet?
Yeah.
Lord,
where the spiritual power at?
Yeah. Turn this water into wine right now.
Right. And the Lord is not looking for superficial Israelites, man. He wants the ones that wants him before they see those great things. The ones that's gonna have faith in him beforehand.
Even a lot of them did see the miracles. A lot of them saw the miracles being performed in front of them, and they still didn't believe.
Yep.
So it's not for them.
Yep.
Because you don't have. If you're a believer, you don't have to see the miracles.
Yeah, just because they probably didn't understand the parable, you know, something that the Lord said, they got their bags and left. You know?
It's like a chick today, man. She'd be with a so-called high-value man. You got the Ferrari, you got the Porsche, the big house, and you know, all of those things, and they get bored. Or they feel like there's something else out there that's better, or they can you know, whatever. No,
they want a man to have all his money and all free time. No, like ain't busy ever. Right. Just can spend all day spending money. They want what's the name of that movie? The Great Gatsby treatment. They want the Great Gatsby treatment. Yeah, if y'all seen that movie? Man,
DiCaprio.
Yeah, with DiCaprio.
Yeah, or pretty woman. Pretty Woman with a Richard
Yep,
Gere.
yep. That's another one.
I got
Midget
three.
of Shades of Grey. Shades of
You,
Grey.
want, you still reading? You good? 1 Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord Yahweh seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart.
Yeah, man, you could have on the best clothes, so to speak, and be the filthiest person, man. You know, you could be the dirtiest nigga in terms of spirit, you know, but have on the freshest clothes. You know, hey, even that's why the scriptures tell us, hey, how to actually pick a woman, man. You pick a woman and she got the hair all done, and then she has the heels, and you know, she got the super tight dress, you know, the makeup on, a certain jewelry pieces and things like that. Hey, it's best to stay away from her, because what she wants, hey, she's gonna be unprofitable into what you're building, man. You know, that's why they always say, you know, go for the 5, 6, and 7s, man, and not the 8, 9s, and 10s.
Yeah,
Hey,
these
like-
bitches with all the makeup and shit on, they 5, 6, 5,
Yeah.
4s. When they take that shit off, so you know,
A lot of them is bimbos. They don't have any real substance to them. A lot of them got bad hygiene. They're not really, you know, they're not really valuable to a man, you know, a real man.
Yeah, that's why I always say, man, the women that call themselves bad bitches, those are the bad people, man.
It's bad batches.
Yeah, bad bitches. You know?
go ahead and keep it moving.
Yeah, kind.
1 Timothy 2:9
Yep.
in NLT, it says, and I want women to be modest in their appearance.
Yep.
They should wear decent and appropriate clothing,
Yeah,
and not draw attention to themselves by the way they fix their hair, or by wearing gold or pearls or expensive clothes.
Because we're looking at the pearl, and I know y'all seen that. If y'all haven't, I'll send it to the chat though. There's it said this proves that women ain't bad bitches no more. Because even a potato, if you put eyelashes and lip liner and lipstick and then a weave on it, it look, bro. When you see it, it's like damn, it got all the. You seen that before, right? It looked like it got all the traits that you would think that a good woman would look like. And that shows you that we're liking
Most-
those things.
Most of these chicks are like a Miss Potato Head now.
Yep.
Filters, makeup,
Yep. Put on the BBL,
you know, all the
lips.
prosthetics, the fake eyelashes,
Lips.
filler, lip filler, you know, Botox. They get the whole nine. And then that's when they want to set the criteria for
Yeah.
their standards,
Yep.
preferences.
They'll be the ones with the highest standards that don't meet none of the
Yeah.
standards of themselves or what the man would want.
So she can artificially change herself and think that she can automatically place herself in that high value category,
Yep.
and then expect you to be the authentic
Yep.
high value.
Yep.
Like you authentically, organically built yourself up. She artificially did it, and then she think that y'all are equal. Hey, the Most High, you can't fool him. So you can come into money, you can wear the expensive jewelry, you can have on these royal garments, you can look draped from head to toe. You can wear your purple, you can do all that. But if you don't have charity, if you don't have faith, you're not walking in wisdom, you're not calling upon the true names.
Yep.
All right, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Your outward appearance don't mean a damn thing.
Okay.
That's why Paul said in Romans 3, it's not about the outward, being a Jew outwardly, but inwardly.
Right.
What does it mean to be a Jew inwardly? Basically walking in the spirit, man. Being circumcised in the mind. All right?
There's Matthew 23:25. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess.
Yeah, the Lord saw all through that shit. He saw them what they, they had the extraordinary long ass garments.
They brought in the phylactery.
They brought in the phylacteries, the edge of their garments, the big ass border of ribbon on the border of their garment. They had the phylacteries, which is they would tie it around their arm.
The little book.
Yeah, around their forehead and with the little book right there.
Yeah. Front lid.
The front lids. And it contained the commandments in it. You know, they would have the paddle. So they would have the whole, like, you look like a straight up Israelite. Like you look like you just like you eat, sleep, and breathe the law.
Yeah, they get the best rooms in the auditorium.
The best rooms, the chief seats. You know, you're getting that VIP treatment.
They got the what are those chairs that Al-Azhar and them had at the
The little
throne chairs.
Velvet throne.
Yeah. But behind closed doors, these niggas was extorting people. You know?
Perverting the law.
Dead man's bones.
Yeah, they was
White
full of extortion.
dead man's bones.
They was committing all kind of wickedness, man.
Superficial people be like some of the worst people, man. Because they'll do anything to keep that appearance up. Anybody that know the truth, they want to try to, get rid of them.
Yep.
Somebody was reading?
Yeah, kind of. I had this in Matthew 23. Just continue in Matthew 23, verse 26. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also.
Because the purpose is in the inside of a cup.
Yeah.
Not on the outside. The outside don't hold nothing. The inside of the cup is what holds. That's what needs to be clean. Same with us.
And you know what's funny? The chapter before that is when he had that encounter with them Pharisees.
Yep.
Then he started to just lay it all out on them. He just started cussing them out.
Yep.
But when you read the previous chapter, when they first came up to him, notice the statement that they made about him. It was an observation that they made about the Lord, and it was actually on point. Go to Matthew 22 real quick. 22 and I think it's the 15th verse.
God, it's Matthew 22 and 15. It says, then went the Pharisees and took counsel. That one? How they may entangle him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. It's Matthew 22 and 15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples.
So they was finna challenge him. You know? And these were type of men, like, they were studied. They seemed to be like intellectuals of their time. But they were hypocrites. You know? You see the likes of guys like who's the latest dude that's trying to vote up against us?
Marquette.
Saint Sinner nigga.
Yeah.
Saint Sinner.
Marquette.
Marquette, yeah.
Niggas like that. You know, he think he's like super duper deep and super intellectual. He's trying to do his little Andrew Tate.
Right.
That impression, that code of personality.
Yep.
You know, you just know everything. So he'll try to, question you just to get you to basically
like to be baited.
Yeah, to try to bait you. They gaslight you about your faith and why you believe what you believe.
Yep.
That's how they was trying to come at the Lord. Same way.
Okay.
If y'all go to his channel, Saint Sinner, he's brought on like low-level Israelites, bugged out Israelites, and he's using them to make Israel look bad.
Found him.
To confound him so he can, exalt himself.
Yep.
Right.
So imagine the Pharisees in that mindset, just like him, but they think that he about to try to trick the Lord up. Go ahead.
God, it's 16. And they went and they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true.
We know that thou art true. Go ahead.
And teachest the way of the Most High in truth.
Uh-huh.
Neither carest thou for any man,
Uh-huh.
for thou regardest not the person of men.
Uh.
Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not?
And that was what they was trying to, trick him with that question. But notice what they said. Basically, you don't regard people. In other words, you don't have a respect of persons.
Yep.
That's what we observe about you,
You
Master.
fair.
Yeah. Like you don't judge based off of your eyesight.
Yep. And all that was deceptive to kind of get in there to
Yeah, they was
bait
trying to
him get
sneak
a
that
question.
way.
Yeah, saying nice things to get him to
Right.
open up.
Right.
Trying to deceptively come in, but at the end of the day, yeah, he only sees through all of it, man.
Read that in the NLT. So we were saying the NLT. And seeing why they was doing that, hey, the Lord he already knew who they were. He already knew the counsel that they was coming with. Knowing how spiritual the Lord was, I'm pretty sure when they had the counsel going on, when Yahushua wasn't even present, he already knew. You know, he would usually say stuff like, "Why think ye in your hearts?"
Yep.
You know?
Reading their thoughts, yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Can I make a quick side note? Real small and quick. That's what wisdom gives you. It gives you the ability to read people's intent,
Read people.
to be able to read them, their intent better. Even though their words say something, you can read into their intent of what they mean.
You're reading their spirit.
And
Yeah.
John the Baptist did the same thing.
Yep.
When he was doing his baptism by the River Jordan, you know, the wicked Sadducees and them was coming by, and he was just like, "Hey, who warned y'all to you know?"
Yahushua did that too.
Yeah.
When there's demons said, "Have you come to
Tempt us before our time.
torment us before our time?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Hell, they read it.
He read. They was getting constantly read, man.
Yep.
You know. Who have warned you to flee from, you know, the wrath.
The wrath to come.
You know. He cussed them out basically before they can even come with their bullshit. Because he saw right through them. Go ahead.
Matthew 22:16 in the NLT. They sent some of their disciples along with the supporters of Herod to meet with him. Teacher, they said, we know how honest you are. You teach the way of the Most High truthfully. You are impartial and don't play favorites.
Don't play favorites. You know, no respect of persons, man. You know, they judge with righteous judgment. You know, those that were, you know, super proud, that was coming around him, he didn't want to be around them. And he knew. Then he saw the people that were lowly and meek and humble, and they knew that they in need of a savior. He went to them.
Yep.
He was able to discern those spirits. You know. And he went and healed the that centurion. He saw the faith that he had.
He said, I'm trying to think of that.
He didn't be like, oh, that's a centurion, so I'm not going to deal with him.
He good.
He wanted him.
He got a solid job, or he don't, you know.
No, that
work from home.
centurion, that was just part of his lot. I'm pretty sure the Lord knew that. But he saw the faith that man had. Like that dude is, even though he's a centurion, that dude is of the elect. Look at his faith.
Yeah.
I ain't seen this level of faith in Israel yet.
Yeah.
In all Israel, he said that.
Yeah.
And that was an Israelite, by the way. It wasn't no damn crackler, man.
Right.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Like, you want to picture the whole scenery, the whole scene. Well, what type of people are playing the scene? You know, they so-called black men, man, so-called Negroes, man.
So if a black cop came up right now and was like, what y'all talking about? We gonna not tell him because he got a badge and a gun? No, if he coming acting sincere and being sincere, fireman, whatever, we'll come break it down to him. The same way. Yeah.
It's a lot of Israelites that's, you know, in them different positions of authority, maybe even military, and they gonna draw the line when it come down to it. They're not gonna draw the line. Oh, excuse me. They're not gonna cross that line in oppressing their own people or, you know, helping Esau with his agenda.
And you have the man that was in the prison guard when Peter was locked up. You know, look at his position. Yeah, he believed.
And they didn't leave for his sake.
Gone.
Yeah. And he said, I was going to quote earlier, he said, the whole need not a physician, but the sick. And you're talking about judging the people that needed it versus the people that didn't even really want it. You have more?
Verse 17. Now tell us what you think about this. Already.
He already knew the play before they even read it.
Yeah.
He already knew. You know? And just like when jokers come up to, and that's why, like, being out here for years, you build that discernment of how to read people.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the apostles are real sharp when it comes to people coming by, and just based on their demeanor, their countenance, and based on the energy that they come with. They already know off top, you ain't gonna get it, so you can keep it moving. You can keep walking up the street. This ain't for you.
We could tell by certain people's questions the level of the level that they on.
Yep.
And if they're coming sincere, if they're coming as sincere, but they're coming at the scoff,
Yep.
if they're coming as a Christian, you know,
They want to come just to say something to run off.
you know, because a lot of guys come up here and they'll have a specific question. They want to know about the Gentiles, and they'll beat around the bush for about 10 minutes until they get to what they came up here for their point. And we didn't seen it before.
They start off asking a question that seems sincere.
Yeah.
Rather give them a clear answer, and then they'll say, okay, well, let me ask you this.
Yep.
Okay, at that point, you don't really want to answer. You just want to either debate or you
Right.
want to tell somebody what you know.
They'll never let you answer their first question.
Yeah, we
You
like
know,
to get
thoroughly, because we'll say get all the meat off the bone.
Yep.
You know. So, we've been out here for years, and the people coming out is coming less and less and less and less. You know.
Yep.
The closer we get, the less Jake becomes engaged in prophecy and what the Bible's really saying. They don't. Jake is like, before we came out here, it was brothers that we thought was sincere come out and find us, and now, shit, they don't come out no more. They don't even watch probably.
Y'all gonna be here next week?
Yeah, them
As soon as we hear that, we like,
Yeah, we'll probably never see you again.
Yeah. Okay.
See you in the kingdom.
there will be, a large amount of people that shows up. Yeah, they're gonna show up at some point, and they're gonna want to know all the answers today. So they only got to do this one time. It don't work this way.
When they come out, they're gonna get cussed out for about 2 hours. For sure. They're gonna get cussed out. We go out here 3 hours, they're gonna get cussed out for the first 2 hours. I'm telling you.
How long you been watching? Who you been watching?
You know the name, huh? Okay.
That cuss out, honestly, to be real about it, that cuss out is gonna cut all the false doctrine out. That's what that's gonna do. We're gonna break down through the doctrine.
And it's gonna sift.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sift. That's the sift.
That's the main point.
Because those that's sincere, they're gonna take that. They're
Yep.
gonna be like, man, yeah, you're right. I was bullshitting. I caught hell, and I want to be sincere.
And that's what that's about. That's what all this is about, to prove those that are really sincere about this thing. That's what all of this we're reading is about, to see if the man is sincere on the inside. Okay? That he's willing to live in the rest of his life the righteous way versus putting off the old way in repentance. You gotta go.
It says, now tell us what you think about this. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But Yahushua knew their evil motives. You hypocrites, he said.
Imagine Marquette sending a sinner, but with fringes on in a garment, coming to Yahushua, coming with his, loaded questions or whatever. Yahushua wasn't finna debate the truth.
Right.
He was the truth. He was the word of the Most High. He's not finna debate you as the word of the Most High. Picture that, like he's the embodiment of the word, but he's finna argue you and debate you.
If he's true, basically.
Bro, it's either you believed or you didn't. Go ahead, bro.
It says, you hypocrites, he said. Why are you trying to trap me? Here, show me the coin used for the tax.
Yep.
No, I'll still deal with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saw the way out.
It was being assholes, man. Straight up assholes. Because they was really trying to, challenge his authority. They saw the level of authority he was coming in. They wanted to challenge that because they were used to having the authority. The Pharisees, the chief priests, they was used to them lofty positions of authority. So when they see the Lord, he came up on his own and didn't go into the temple and learn like they did. He was born of the Holy Spirit. He already knew it. He knew it all. They saw him as a 12-year-old coming up in there asking questions that only the learned people would even ask. Go ahead, bro.
When they handed him a Roman coin, he asked whose picture and title are stamped on it. Caesar's, they replied.
And when you actually look it up, I believe it's Caesar Augustus, if I'm not mistaken. When you look at you search in the tribute penny, I believe it's supposed to be an image of Caesar Augustus. I think at that time, who the Caesar that was actually in power was Tiberius Caesar, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, when you look at the inscription that was on that particular coin, it says in the Latin, it calls Augustus Caesar the divine Augustus, basically like he's a god.
Yeah.
So they was basically asking him, hey, so
You idol worship with this
hey,
coin?
you believe in paying tribute with this? You believe that?
Yeah. All the Caesars had their different type of coins
Yeah.
to commemorate. Like you said, he commemorated himself. A lot of them wanted them to put themselves as gods.
Yeah.
You know, so all the Caesars had their specific coin to mint. You know, you don't want to say their legacy, but
Right.
their rulership. That
No different than today.
Yeah.
And they wanted to attach them. They wanted to attach them to the Sakari. And I looked up Sakari when they first came about. Said the first century, AD basically. So the Lord, was crucified 33 AD, right? 32 AD, somewhere around there. So the wicked, Pharisees and scribes, they already knew that Sakari was in their belief system about going against the Roman Empire.
Yep.
That doctrine was around. So that's why they tried to link the Lord with the Sakari.
Yeah, they were trying to frame him up.
Yeah.
Like if he's not all right with it, then he's probably a rebel. If he is all right with it, then he's a worshiper of Caesar.
Yeah.
So it was like however he answers it, we got his answer. That's what they was doing, loaded questions.
Like, tried to mark him with the transgressors.
Son. Yahushua saw right through that shit, man. Go ahead, bro.
I looked it up on Google. It says the tribute penny from the time of Yahushua, specifically referenced in the Bible, featured the face of Roman Emperor Tiberius.
Oh, so it was Tiberius. There we go. Okay.
Didn't Tiberius, he murdered Julius Caesar, didn't he? That came after? Well, I think so.
Julius was before Tiberius.
Tiberius. Yeah. Oh, he's before
He was
Tiberius.
before Tiberius. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Tiberius murdered Julius. Yeah.
It says the silver denarius coin bore the inscription Tiberius Caesar Divi Augusti Filius Augustus, which meaning Tiberius Caesar, the son of the divine Augustus.
Right. Son of the divine Augustus. So implying that he's the son of God.
Yeah.
And Augustus Caesar was God.
Yep.
You know?
Sounds mighty papal.
And that was the currency that you had to use to pay your taxes,
Yep.
to pay your tribute.
Yeah, Tiberius. No, Augustus came before Tiberius.
So the Lord, he used discernment the whole time. You know, he already knew what time it was, and that's also why you're supposed to be well studied in the scriptures. Because some of these Christians can try to turn up and ask you certain questions.
Yep.
If you don't know, you could be confounded out there. There's been Israelite camps that have been confounded by Christians, and that's sad to say.
Embarrassing.
And
Very embarrassing.
And there's two things that as an Israelite, just to say it, because I encountered some guys recently anyway. Two things that they don't want to deal with. They're gonna try to get you in all the scholarly knowledge, the dates, and this and that, and all that backstory and all of that extra stuff. All you gotta talk about is prophecy, man. I want you to talk about, if you keep it on salvation and prophecy, they ain't got nothing about that,
They
because
ain't got nothing.
they got nothing for those. Okay? You ain't even got to debate who the people are. Just talk about the prophecy of things to come, or things that are happening now, and then what was the other one I said?
Salvation and prophecy.
And salvation. So, yeah, about what, that's the main point. The main point is not to know how many this and that, but to know how to get salvation. If you stay on them topics, you shouldn't be confounded.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. You gotta be well studied. The scriptures say search the scriptures.
Yep.
When you search something, that means that you're going over it consistently.
Yep.
Sometimes even repetitively.
Yep.
You know, so you don't just read it once and then it's already ingrained. You constantly reading it because you're trying to get layers out of that shit.
Yeah. And
You
the
know?
scripture has many-fold. You
Hey,
know?
what does it mean to read? It means again. Search again. Search.
Research. Yeah.
That Marquette dude, he's a proud nigga.
Yeah.
And he might know a little something, but he had them little low-level dudes on his platform. He get somebody that really knows and understand this thing, he get embarrassed on his platform.
He would have been cut with saving your fucking head.
Yeah.
Cut off that, bro.
Yeah.
Low-level niggas out there.
He don't really wear. He wear 5 o'clock shadow.
No, he shaved his head.
But don't he wear the 5 o'clock though?
Yeah, he ain't got no beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shaves. Razor.
And even still, you can get past all of that and just get to the point. So what's the mark of the beast then?
Yeah.
Just go right there and see what they got.
What's the beast?
So then what's the name? What's the name of the Lord?
What's the name of the Lord?
Simple stuff.
We don't know.
That every Israel, but we know every Israelite don't go by that too. It's crazy.
Then why Israelite niggas?
Yep.
They say Yeshua, Yahweh.
Yeah.
Higher, whatever they call it.
Yep, these niggas still having unity camps.
Yep.
I saw that yesterday. I guess they had one in Memphis.
Who
I forgot. I just, you know how you be scrolling and live come up. And Jake out there and it was out there in
They
Memphis.
have a family reunion
Yeah,
camps.
yep.
Yeah.
After camp, let's all have a barbecue,
Cookout.
some potato salad. You know, come on, man.
Barbecue.
That's not that wasn't what the Lord wasn't rolling like that.
He fed people after they were edified.
Yeah,
In the spirit.
yeah.
They falling way out of the way.
Yeah.
So they wasn't around town to eat.
That was sifting
Yeah.
right there. You know, niggas probably was hungry. Like, man, I don't want to get too
far out.
too far out because
Get
you know
that
the little
meat.
chicken shack closed at this time, and
Yep.
you know y'all was like a sifting. How Shai took him out there to sift who really wanted this word or not. Like you said, he fed him after.
And he saw some of them was full of shit.
Yeah.
Like that was another way. That was another part of his discernment.
Yeah.
He knew who was full of shit because he okay. I'm performing these miracles and I'm seeing how people react. But then I'm seeing how when I perform this particular miracle, I'm hooking up the fish sandwiches, the po' boys and shit. And that's when niggas want to come around and act like they down. But then after that, when I go out to start actually speaking and teaching the gospel of the kingdom, these niggas nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Get that count, bro. John 6.
I got a quick. It's almost a joke, but it's real about people. My grandmother used to say, "Don't ever feed a hungry slave. Don't ever feed a slave, because then they ain't gonna want to work.
Yep.
If you make them work first, and then they'll work all day, knowing that they about to get something.
That's right. The kingfish, bro.
Yeah, real king.
Yeah, the real kingfish.
John 6 and 8. The beginning, toward the beginning of the chapter.
No. It's further down actually.
Main point.
It's like maybe in the 20s,
6 and 26.
6 and 26. But you can start up some verses.
Yeah, I started at 22. The following day, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat there, save that whereinto his disciples were entered, and that Yahushua went up with his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. Howbeit came other boats from Tiberias nigh unto the place where they did eat bread. After that, the Lord had given thanks. When the people therefore saw that Yahushua was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum seeking for Yahushua. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi.
And, hey, we went through this before too. What happened there? Read that again. Yeah, start up again.
Howbeit, when came other boats from Tiberias nigh unto the place where they did eat bread, after that the Lord had given thanks. When the people therefore saw that Yahushua was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum seeking for Yahushua.
So how the hell did they get all the way over there? They had to get on boats to get over there to get to him.
Yep.
Bro, there's accounts when Yahweh Shai, he was straight teleporting.
Yep.
He would teleport from one place to another.
You would like it. This maybe disappear between the crowd.
Yep.
What I'm thinking is when he told him to go ahead on the boat,
Yeah.
and then he walked out on the sea,
Yeah, to meet him.
and then he met him out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, hey, how you got out here?
Yep.
Peter was like, can I come out there?
Yep. Go ahead.
And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when camest thou hither?
How'd you get over here?
Yahweh Shai answered and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled.
Read that again.
Yahweh Shai answered and said, Yahweh Shai answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled.
That was bro was talking about earlier. They saw the miracles and that didn't move them enough. That wasn't enough. How the miracles not be enough? He healing people back from the dead. Sick people, people that can't walk, they can now walk and run and leap and dance. And that ain't a miracle?
Look at the
That ain't
wilderness.
enough?
Yeah, that's why we don't have no kitchen, no food kitchens
Yep.
laid out.
They have a line
everybody
around
come
the
eat.
corner.
Soup
Yep.
kitchens.
Yeah, them niggas
Yeah,
just
they-
smell the food, bro.
Yeah.
From miles
then
away.
we'll finally have a crowd.
Yeah.
As long as we doing this, is nothing. They smell shit. They smell some food over here. They smell some
Yeah.
bro.
They can smell
They smell something sizzling.
They smell
They can smell the
sizzling
aroma.
and
Yeah.
gravy.
Just like we smell food over there sometime in Container Park.
I just want to come here to where.
Yeah, they just want to say, oh, but y'all got.
I'm gonna come back next week. That's good.
Bless you, brothers, man.
We
Y'all
get
some
all the
special